India is one of those places that's very difficult to explain unless you've actually been there. It's not a country you simply visit. It's a country that confronts you. And at least that's how it felt for me because when I first arrived in India, I remember thinking, wow, this is a lot. The noise, the heat, the people, the traffic, the colors, the smells, the movement. Everything felt like it was just happening at a level or a couple of levels above what I'm used to. And you look at the traffic and think, how does it even work? Cars, motorbikes, bicycles, people, animals, everything moving at the same time. And somehow it works. Maybe not in the way I would have designed it, maybe not in the way I was used to, but it works. And that was one of the first lessons India gave me. Just because something looks chaotic from the outside doesn't mean there isn't a system inside it. And it may just not be your system. And I think that's quite a humbling thing to realize because in my professional life, especially as a chemical engineer and someone who worked in manufacturing, I was trained to think in systems and processes, efficiency, quality, results. You want things to be predictable. You want things to be measurable. You want things to be controlled. And India challenged that because India almost says, yes, but life isn't always a production line. At first, I found it frustrating. I won't pretend otherwise because there were moments where I thought, why is this taking so long? Why is it so complicated? Why can't we just do it the simple way? But after a while, I started to realize something. Maybe India wasn't the one that needed to adjust. Maybe I did. And that's one of the things India teaches you very quickly. It doesn't bend itself to your expectations. You have to become more flexible. You have to observe before you judge, and you have to slow down enough to understand what is actually happening. And one thing that really stood out to me was how religion and spirituality are woven into everyday life. In many Western countries, religion is often separated from daily routine. It happens in a church, it happens in home, it happens on a specific day, or quietly in private. But in India, spirituality is much more visible. You see temples, you see small rituals, you see offerings, you see ceremonies. Even at work, this was something I noticed. There were occasions where the normal working day would pause, people would gather, a puja or a blessing ceremony would take place in an office, in a factory, on the shop floor, in a professional environment. And for me, that was fascinating because in many companies, work is treated almost like a machine: output, deadlines, targets, efficiency. But there, even inside the professional world, there were moments where work paused for meaning. And that stayed with me because it made me ask myself, are we only here to produce? Are we only here to solve the next problem? Are we only here to become more efficient? Or is there something else we're slowly forgetting? I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I don't want to romanticize India. India is complicated. It can be beautiful, can be frustrating, can be inspiring, can be exhausting, sometimes all in the same day. But maybe that's exactly why it affects you. Maybe because it doesn't allow you to stay neutral. You feel things here, there, you question things there, you notice things there. And one of the things I started questioning was my own definition of success, because for me, much of my life, success was connected to achievement: building, solving, improving, moving forward. And those things still matter to me. I still believe in building, I still believe in creating, I still believe in progress. But India reminded me that achievement without meaning can feel quite empty. You can be busy, you can be productive, you can be successful on paper, and still feel that something is missing. And I think many people understand that feeling, especially as you get older. At some point, you stop asking only, how can I achieve more? And you start asking, what actually matters now? What kind of life am I creating? What kind of person am I becoming? What am I leaving behind? What will be my legacy? And India pushed me towards those questions. One of the most important experiences I had there was meeting a man of wisdom, I don't really want to call him a guru. That word can mean different things to different people. He wasn't someone trying to impress people with a title. He was simply someone who shared wisdom in a very grounded way, in a very structured way. And I was fortunate enough to attend one of his week-long retreats. And during that retreat, something happened that I didn't really expect. I reconnected with a part of myself that I had not felt for a long time. The innocent part, the curious part, the playful part, the part that still knew how to dream. And it was emotional, not dramatic, not theatrical, just very personal. I won't go too deeply into the retreat today because that deserves its own video. But I will say this, at the end of a retreat, the phrase creative dreams came to me. And the word creator was important, not just dreamer, creator. Because dreams are not only something we imagine, dreams are something we build through action, through courage, through learning, through adaptation, through beginning again. And maybe that is the biggest lesson India gave me. Slow down enough to listen. Slow down enough to question. Slow down enough to notice what your life is trying to tell you. Because sometimes we are moving so fast that we don't even realize we are moving in a direction we no longer believe in. We are just busy. Busy working, busy solving, busy surviving, busy maintaining a life that maybe we never consciously chose. India made me pause, not completely, not overnight. Real change usually doesn't happen that way, and something shifted quietly, subtly. And those subtle shifts can sometimes be the most powerful ones because today, when I think about India, I don't only think about the noise, the traffic, the temples, or the intensity. I think about the questions it gave me. What am I creating? Who am I becoming? What matters now? And am I still allowing myself to dream? The last question is important. Am I still allowing myself to dream? Because as we get older, many people stop dreaming without even realizing it. Not because they don't have dreams, but because life becomes full. Responsibilities, work, family, bills, problems, and slowly the dreamer becomes quiet. India helped me hear that part of myself again. So if I had to summarize what India taught me, I would say this. Sometimes slowing down is not falling behind. Sometimes slowing down is how you finally begin to understand what matters. And maybe sometimes the places that confuse us the most are the places that teach us the most. That That's what India was for me, a teacher, not an easy teacher, but a powerful one. So if you've been to India or you've had a place that changed your life or the way that you see life, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. So thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for watching this video. And until next time, remember, keep learning, keep creating, keep dreaming. Joy, joy, joy.